Hey, what's up, fantasy people? Thank you so much for tuning into the Fantasy Football Show. Today, we will be drinking and talking about players with high risk. So, some of these players are in the first and second round. So, you might want to pay attention to this. They will all be time stamped, the players we're going to talk about. I have three, and Jason, the lucky bastard, has three. So, I will see you in a couple seconds. Hey, what's up, fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Ethan Will, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Football Show. Today's episode, we are going over fantasy players with high risk. I discussed this in the intro, so for where they're going in fantasy drafts, what you kind of want to do is, have safe players, very safe players, and high risk players. Maybe those high risk players you're getting a value at, or their ceiling is super high, but boom or bust type of situation. I'll talk about that later. But Jason, before we get into all of that madness, I was going to say the Fantasy Football Show. Can you tell the public how they can help this show?
Yeah, if you guys made it this far, if you can send us a subscription, and if you could give us a like, we like the likes, and even give us some comments. We like the interaction with you people. You people, what do you mean, you people? If you want some additional content, you can also follow us on Instagram at the Fantasy Football and Show. And guess what, Tyler? We're still up on Spotify. So if you want to listen to us on those card rides home or when you're taking a poop, check us out, the Fantasy Football and Show on Spotify.
You know what helps when you're taking a poop, Jason, is the laughing really hard.
Dude, it does. I'm not even lying about that. I'm like, I'm trying to advertise our own stuff, but it really
does. Hey, so if you're constipated out there, give us a try.
This is the show for you.
And then go to a doctor.
Yes, please.
That's me opening a beer. If you're listening to us on Spotify. So I still need to try to get this up on YouTube podcasts. I know that was a new feature last week, but man, we've been busy, man. We got like full-time jobs, that kind of stuff. Anyways, Jason.
Yeah.
It's that time of the week. I smell the smoke. I feel the heat. Give me that barbecue question of the week.
This is the barbecue question of the week where we answer the questions that you want to know. And this week's question is, Dalvin Cook, he's gone, baby. Gone. So are you targeting or aiming for Alexander Mattison?
Alexander Mattison. If you have a girlfriend, you've probably heard that 1,000 times. Yeah, right. I never wanted to watch that musical, but guess what, dude? When you've got a woman in your house, you're watching musicals.
Yep.
Shout out to all the women out there. Anyways, dude, Alexander Mattison, fantasy darling for what? 4 years, 3 years, ever since Dalvin Cook's been toting the rock. Yeah, so I think I had a stat. It was he's had 20 plus carries in 4 of the last 6 games that he started for Dalvin Cook. And in those games, I think he had 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns. It seemed all great. His efficiency has been terrible. And they also drafted a running back, given the biggest thing about rookie running backs are fumbling issues. And this guy's, scouting report is his number one problem is, he's big enough. I think he's 6'1", 200 something pounds to overtake Alexander Mattison. But his number one issue is fumbling. So yeah, I would really like to have Alexander Mattison maybe in the 5th round. And then I'm choosing between George Kittle and Alexander Mattison. And that's kind of tough for me. But I think that he might be a really good value for your running back 2-3 going into maybe but then there's risk, high risk, talking about risk, dude, that this rookie might overtake him, in the second half, because Alexander Madison's he's not the greatest talent or anything like that, but he's going to be in a really good offense with really good wide receivers. So yeah, anyways, dude, Alexander Mattison, I think, is worth a 5th round draft pick, but there is some risk built in there, because I think that if you're going to draft him, you're going to draft him for the first 10 games with the risk coming in later.
Yeah. Where's Dalvin Cook going right now?
Dude, right now he was going in the 3rd round or something.
Yes. Do not get Alexander Mattison
in
It's
the third or
not.
fourth round. Yeah, so like that's a different thing, Jason. That's a great point. Dalvin Cook going in the third, fourth turn is not the same, dude. Like you do not. Dalvin Cook is a far superior running back over Alexander Madison. I am a Vikings fan. I watch this stuff. Dude, Dalvin Cook's got like a whole nother gear. So, and he's a better pass catcher. But yeah, dude, Alexander Madison, he averaged like over. He averaged like 5 yards a carry his first couple of years, and now he's been like below 4 yards a carry. So either defenses have figured him out, or he's just getting older, dude. He's kind of an old backup.
Yeah, this guy. What I think he's been in the league for like 4 years, but Tyler, he is 5'11", 220 pounds.
The Alexander Madison or the dude they drafted?
Alexander Madison. Um, he can pass catch, but he's definitely not as good as Dalvin Cook in the receiving game or a runner. I think one thing that Alexander Madison can do is that he could carry the load, like Samwise the Brave, right? To Frodo Baggins, help me carry the load. You know, he can do it. Will he be as productive as Dalvin Cook? I don't think so. But then again, it's still like it's something you got to keep an eye on because he's a starter. He's going to be a starter for the Minnesota Vikings, and we saw that offense last year kind of just like blow up more in the passing game, but starting running backs, that's what players, managers really try to aim for in the fantasy football league. And now there's one that just opened up, right? We know Alexander Madison is going to be starting running back for the Minnesota Vikings. Now we got to see where's Dalvin Cook going to go because that's going to be a potential of another starting running back going to another team.
If he goes to the Miami Dolphins, I think wherever Dalvin Cook goes, his draft pick is going to go. His ADP is going to go down, dude. So it doesn't really matter. Most situations already filled. He's going to be in a crowded running back room. Vikings were perfect for him. Like that was the perfect situation for Dalvin Cook. And now he's gone, man. So yeah, Dalvin Cook ADP down. Alexander Madison's going to go up, but don't draft him like too early. I'm telling you, man.
No.
All right, Mr. Jason. I got to write down what I said before. I said, I smell the smoke. I feel the heat. Now it's time for the barbecue question of the week.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty good.
I'm going to write that down, man. I'm going to start saying that.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, when I said it, I was like, man, what am I? Alcohol is amazing.
You got to remember my reactions to what you were saying. Like, ooh.
It's like, yeah, if you guys have ever written down song lyrics when you're all messed up and then you come back to them the next day, you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
I can be good, man. Look at this.
We're all
right.
idiots.
All right, Jason, I need you to tell me who your quarterback with the high risk is.
All right. So I'm going first. Let me do a little click-a-doo-doo-doo. My risky business player, quarterback first. My first player is quarterback, Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. This guy is he's a big conversation I wanted to talk about. And that's because I seen this guy go in like the 7th round. And I seen this guy go from the 7th round to the 11th round. So there's like a 4 or 5 range of rounds this guy's getting drafted. And I'm like seeing this guy in the 7th round. I'm like, there are definitely better players to get as quarterbacks. 6th, 7th, 8th round. Tyler, you and I both talked about it. What you got? Trevor Lawrence that's there. You got Justin Herbert that's going around that time. There's no chance in heck I would get Dak Prescott over those two quarterbacks I just mentioned. Last year he missed 5 games due to a thumb injury, and he finished as quarterback 18. But this dude last year, he led the NFL with 15 INTs last year, and he led the league in INTs, and he missed 5 games. It's pretty bizarre. He did have 23 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. But the thing is, like a lot of people had like a value that Dak Prescott had was that he was also getting rushing touchdowns because like his first like 3 seasons in the NFL, each of those seasons he had 6 rushing touchdowns. Well, his last 2 seasons he's had 1 touchdown, 1 in each. He had that horrific ankle injury. And if I had something like that, I would never want to walk again. I'm like, put me in the wheelchair. Put me in the wheelchair. I never want to do this again. So I don't think this guy is running as much. So you could count the running game out. Something that I read that was kind of actually pretty interesting was like they also have like a new offensive scheme, and it's called the Texas Coast offense. The
No
Texas
thanks.
the Texas Coast offense, right? Dak Prescott was reported saying, "It's a little bit of what we've done in the past, and just obviously marrying them together with a lot of detail." What does that mean?
Oh, dude, you've led offense like how many years in a row, and now you're like, oh no, this is just wait till you see the details in this
I
Mike
know.
McCarthy led offense, dude. No thanks.
I don't think this is like going to be anything special. I'm not even sure Dak Prescott knows what it is. He's trying to stay professional and say the right thing, because when I read that, I'm like, I have no idea what that's even supposed to mean. To add to that, they also got a new play caller. Mike McCarthy's going to go back to calling the plays, and he's reported to saying they're going to slow down the offense. They want to focus on the run more. So I looked into it last year. The Cowboys were ninth in the league, running 47% of the time. And Mike McCarthy's he's talking about his scheme that he wants to slow it down, focus on the run even more. So I'm just like, trying to calculate, trying to guess that they're trying to go over like 50% of the time they're going to run the ball. So that's less passing attempts that Dak Prescott's going to have to make. Brian Schottenheimer, his coaching style is for the offensive coordinator, he's very basic, runs a very basic offense. But the thing is,
High
like,
school.
What's up?
High school. I remember when they were like, dude, this like literally is high school offense. Sorry. When you said basic offense, I was just thinking like high school, man.
No,
like
exactly.
high school offense.
That's what I'm saying. It's very basic. It's nothing like Kellen Moore status. It's nothing like crazy. The quarterbacks that are around Dak Prescott, kind of in the later rounds, there was like still Aaron Rodgers. There was Kirk Cousins, who I talked about last week or a week or two ago. Deshaun Watson, he's available still. So with that being said, I put if you're getting Dak Prescott before round 9, I think his risk rating is 65% that he's bust. I think if you get him before the 9th round, his risk rating is 65.
Yes.
65 risk rating before round 9. It's not worth it. Not worth it.
What's it after the 9th round? What does it go down? What does it go up to? Or down to? What does it go down to?
It goes to the 9th round. It goes to 61%.
That's Jason is a mathematician. He is a wizard. He was the math prodigy when we were growing up.
Just throwing that out there for fun. 65, I feel like that's too before round 10, before round 11, before round 9. You can't be getting this guy. You got to be getting something else as your starting quarterback, or it's not going to work well. Too much of a risk.
So, Jason, I did write this stat down for a different player, but Dak Prescott, dude, 8.2 average depth per target, yards per target. That was inside the top 10. And you already said they were running the ball, and they were ranked like 7th. You said something like that.
9th. They were ranked.
I mean, so they were inside the top 10 for average depth per target, and they were able to run the ball. So like, oh man, it just sucks they got rid of Kellen Moore, dude. I think that is like you could literally take CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard and put them all in the same category. I was going to put, CeeDee Lamb. I was like, whoever Jason's not going to take in the Cowboys, I'm going to put too. But this team is all about one thing: is Mike McCarthy. So that's the highest risk. And if you know anything about football, you do not want anything to do with Mike McCarthy, dude. So, and I do not like anything I've seen in the offseason. The conversations that have been had, it just sucks. So yeah, I do not like that at all. I think that's a great pick, Jason.
Yeah, the Texas Coast offense. I don't know if I believe in that yet. I think it's going to benefit more of like Tony Pollard. I can see that being beneficial. I can even see CeeDee Lamb getting targets and getting receptions just because he's going to be the number 1 on there. But touchdowns, I think it's going to be lower for both ends, for quarterback and wide receivers this year.
All right, people. This is my pick right now. You can see it behind me. Daniel Jones, man. Like, Jason, I was like, Daniel Jones isn't even drafted. Why would I even pick him on this list? Dude, this fool's going round 10. So, like, round 10 to me is still like, you can still pick up some pretty good players. And Daniel Jones right now is getting picked. He's going in between Christian Kirk, well, not Christian Kirk, Kirk Cousins,
Mm-hmm.
and Aaron Rodgers, dude. And if you know anything about me and Jason, man, like, we are going to be, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers is going to have one amazing year. It's going to be this year. I will draft Aaron Rodgers. I'm thinking about bumping him. Dude, I can't believe he's going so late. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in our tier of maybe even the Justin Herbert. Wait, Herbert, Justin Herbert. I'm drinking, dude. His first name is Justin, right? God, I've written this down his name 1,000,000 times, and Trevor Lawrence. So yeah, he might be in that tier by the time the draft comes up. And right now, dude, he's going below He's going below Daniel Jones. So like right now, my favorite value pick, dude, for quarterback is probably Aaron Rodgers. But that's there's no way it's going to stay the same.
Yeah.
So like just seeing between like Kirk Cousins, man, are you kidding me? He's got like Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and you're putting him with Daniel Jones, who's got like Isaiah Hodgkins, and I mean, I liked, dude, the wide receiver they drafted last year. I can't remember his name right now. I had him written down, but now I got rid of that paper. Anyways, they did not add any elite wide receivers, Jason. All they got was Darren Waller, and it's like, oh yeah, dude, Darren Waller. You know who drafted Darren Waller like 2 of the last 3 years? Not last year. I smartened up and got Cole Kmet. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, dude, tight has been a nightmare for me for 3 years, going on 3 years right now, because Darren Waller is literally, he never plays, dude, and he's going to be turning 31. Give me a 31-year-old Darren Waller with Daniel Jones and tell me that Daniel Jones is going to be better than Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers. Dude, there's no way, dude. And yeah, Brian Daboll is great. This guy just got his money too. It's not like he's even trying to get money now. So he finished with 15 touchdowns last season and 3,200 yards. But he ended the season with huge games against my Vikings 2 times and Indianapolis. And for some reason, dude, like, those teams gave up, dude. Like, they were literally rollover teams, and he killed them. Like, he had like 2 touchdowns and 100 yards rushing against the Vikings, stuff like that, dude. So yeah, like, he probably propelled some teams to the championship or something like that. And so people are just have like, oh my God, I'm getting Daniel Jones, value pick. I'm telling you, man, he is super high risk. He is no value. Give me the 2 people below. Give me the guy below him all day, and I might even pick that guy below him like 2 rounds earlier. So that's my pick, Jason.
Yeah, that's a very good pick too, because he had 7 rushing touchdowns last year, right? So 15 passing touchdowns, that's crap.
Yeah.
He had 7 rushing touchdowns, and that's what kind of boosted him up. So it's like, I think
And
this
who's
was
his running back, Jason? Who's his running back?
Barkley. Yeah.
Could you see that number going down with Saquon Barkley as his goal line running back?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it was a season where it's like Daniel Jones appears to be a running quarterback, but in reality, he's really not a running quarterback. This is probably going to be his last year is probably going to be the year where he's going to have all breakout career rushing yards, attempts, and touchdowns.
Now they're paying him. You know, like, if he got injured, it's not good. So it's like, I could see them even protecting him more, which they should.
Yeah.
But it's not good for his fantasy.
I mean, even if this guy's like touchdowns drop like from 7 to 5, 7 to 4, that's a huge drop off when you're only throwing 15 touchdowns a game. And the one good thing that they did draft Jalen Hyatt, who I was a fan of. He was like my
Tennessee, right? The Tennessee, yeah.
Yep. He was like my Deshaun Jackson. And
happy birthday, Jason.
Jason, it's your birthday. But yeah, that's a good pick. I'm just gonna end it like that. That was a good pick.
Who's your guy, Jason? Who's your running back?
My running back. Okay, this one was crazy. Running back Jonathan Taylor for the Indianapolis Colts. And I was going back and forth with Jonathan Taylor and Dameon Pierce of which one I wanted to do. But, you know, from what I'm from what I'm reading, it looks like Dameon Pierce is the for sure number one back. So and he's going after Jonathan Taylor. So I was like, you know what? I think he might be a good spot where he's at because all the reports are saying that he's going to be a for sure number one running
He is a
back.
number run, Jason. All he does is run, no matter what.
Number 9. So I went with Jonathan Taylor, and this is why. Let me tell you. I saw a few drafts where Jonathan Taylor was going fifth overall. I don't know. This guy missed 6 games with an ankle injury last year. He was one of those machines, right? He's like, he doesn't miss games. He hasn't missed a game since high school practice and blah, blah, blah. Well, he missed 6 games with an ankle injury, and he had surgery on that ankle, Tyler. So I don't know. He only had 4 touchdowns last year. So part of the reason why I know that he was going big last year is because he killed it in 2021, and that offensive line was amazing in 2021. But then last year, 2022, the offensive line ranked 24th by Pro Football Network. I mean, they still have left guard Quentin Nelson, and according to the Colts Wire, they drafted a B- offensive tackle Blake Freeland in the 4th round. So they're giving this draft pick a B-.
Oh, B as in boy.
Yeah, B-.
I thought you said D. I was like, oh my god.
B-. That's from the Colts Wire, and there's still, man, there's just too many question marks on that offensive line. They also drafted a quarterback. Well, they drafted an inaccurate quarterback who's going to vulture some touchdowns at the goal line from Jonathan Taylor. And then Anthony Richardson himself, he's just a mystery. What is going to happen with him? Is he going to be good?
He was almost my high-risk quarterback, Jason.
Yeah. Is he going to be like, he's going to run the ball, but is he going to be good in the air? Is his aerial assault going to be great? Is his passing going to be on cue? I bet they're going to have like trouble moving the chains. I feel like there's going to be some offensive struggles this season from the Colts. Like it's going to be very difficult for them to move the chains this year. They also got a new coach, so new system. Stitching, and he's also a guy who loves using the quarterbacks in short yardage.
And offensive line, he knows how to. He's used to having a dominant offensive line as well.
Right. I mean, there's a chance that the offensive line could like turn around and be great this year, but it's like, am I going to risk that for a number 5th pick? I mean, Taylor's a beast. He's 24 years old. He's a potential bounce back player. But there's too many question marks. There's too many question marks with that offense. His risk rating is 60 for going in the 1st round. I feel like if you're picking this guy in the 1st round, his risk rating is 60. And I'm uncomfortable with that number. I am uncomfortable with that number.
So like Jason said, Jason Taylor would make a great backpack just if he puts the lotion on the skin. You did
put the lotion in the basket.
He's all, man, I wish I would, mother effer, come down here. I will chuck stick you. He's all, he hoses him down. You get the hose again? You're going to make a great backpack, leather. All right, people.
Tyler, man, I just think there's players right there that you could be more. They're more like,
dude. There's different positions. Don't worry. Don't be afraid to get Travis Kelce, man, or unless DeAndre Hopkins goes there. Yeah, dude, get Travis Kelce over this guy. I mean, there's running back. I would rather get Bijan Robinson.
I don't know.
Jonathan Taylor's still so young, man.
I mean, but just like at the fifth overall, it was some fantasy ESPN.
Give me Jamar Chase. Give me Cooper Kupp.
Exactly. For sure.
I feel like he should be at the end. He should be on the 1-2. I feel like he should be going high second. I just need to. I don't have the players in front of me right now. I don't have a draft list, but it's like, dude, I'm never looking at him. I've been 5th pick. He's not even in my O zone.
Yeah, I have 5th pick in our league, Tyler, and I'm not even thinking about getting him.
Yeah, dude, it's like I'd much rather get a wide receiver. I'd rather get Travis Kelce. I'd rather get. There's just other people, man.
People are drafting him early because he is a good running back. But Tyler, you preach this daily, that it's all about those O linemen.
That's the thing, though, Jason. That's why the risk is so built in because they went from dominant to nominant. You know, they went from
Exactly.
this
And like
sucks.
a team like the Houston Texans, who I was debating over, like Jonathan Stewart or Damian Pierce, they even have a better offensive line.
Jonathan Stewart, man, pick up Jonathan Stewart. Oregon sucks. The Ducks suck. I'm a
Did I
beaver.
say Stewart?
Huh, huh, huh,
That's
huh, huh. Yeah, dude, that's what I went to Oregon State. I'm a beaver believer.
no, did I say Stewart?
Yeah, you said Stewart.
Oh, Jonathan Stewart. He was a fantasy
Quadzilla. All right.
Taylor or Damian Pierce, but Damian Pierce definitely he's going later in the draft and he has a better offensive line considered by Pro and Football Network. So Jonathan Taylor, risk rating 60 if you get him in the first round. Wait till the second. There's other players.
Jason, who's your dad's favorite fantasy player?
Aaron Jones. Dude. Who? What?
Austin Ekeler?
That's my dad's?
Isn't he?
I think it's my sister's.
All right, who's your sister's favorite? I mean, somebody related to you, man.
Austin Ekeler.
All right.
I think she's gone Austin the past like 2 seasons.
Here we go, dude.
All right.
Awesome Ekeler, man. Austin Ekeler. I love the guy. He just fought for his contract. I think he got like $2 million more in incentives. So there is incentive to play better, but still, dude, like, I don't know. I feel like he might be trying to. There's a risk of him like just trying to like save his body for the next contract, which will be next year with a different team or something like that. His ADP, Jason, in the draft that we just did last week, he went number 2 overall before Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, his ADP is probably like 3 or 4, but there are people taking him before McCaffrey. Do not do that, please. Like, McCaffrey has a carved out role. They're paying McCaffrey all this money. So, yeah, dude, Ekeler. Plus, he got, like, okay, so I do want to talk about this. What was this, dude? This is crazy. All right, here we go. Second in receiving routes to the flat last year with the Chargers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's all gone because the Cowboys were like 24th or something like that in that same category. So all these dump offs are gone, man. He caught 107 passes last year. Guess how many passes Tony Pollard caught last year, Jason?
45.
39.
Damn.
So it's like, it's crazy, man. Like Kellen Moore, here we go. Among QBs with 400 plus dropbacks, Herbert finished second lowest in average depth per target with 6.4. Only person behind him was Matt Ryan. So it's like, dude, literally everything that Joe Lombardi, that was the offensive coordinator for the Chargers last year, did was like super dump off. He took dumps all over the place, man. Dumps in the kitchen. Like, as long as it's close, he never went in the backyard, you know? So it's like, and then I think I told you this last week or last 10 minutes. Dak Prescott, dude, he was at 8.2. That's ranked inside the top 10. So he's going from an offense that just dinks and dunks to an offense that like takes shots downfield constantly. So Austin Ekeler, like, yeah, dude, like as far as like efficiency, like he might go up, but like PPR formats, dude, or just receiving in general, dude, like he had, how many touchdowns did he have? He had 20 touchdowns last 2 years ago. He had 18 last year. And the whole conversation last year was like, you don't want Austin Ekeler, dude, touchdown. Like all of his touchdowns were like flukes or whatever, dude. It was all just whatever. Now, this is the third year in a row, dude. He had 18, 20, 20. And now he got a new offensive coordinator with a totally different philosophy. Like, dude, I'm telling you, I would not want Austin Ekeler unless I'm drafting. I think he belongs number 1, number 2, because I would draft all those wide receivers before him, Jason. That top tier, I would draft before him. And then I would draft Travis Kelce before him. Just that kind of stuff. Anyways, yeah. So Joe Lombardi was the Saints offensive coordinator with Alvin Kamara when he got all those catches, Jason. And then he was also the Lions offensive coordinator when they had Devin Bush or Reggie Bush. Jason, point him out. There he is. There he is.
Or no,
And Theo Riddick, if you remember Riddick, dude. Chronicles of Riddick? I think you had him on your team. I think you changed. I think that was your team name.
Reggie Bush went for the Lions? Am I tripping right now?
I don't know. That's what they said on this. This was like a huge article about this offensive coordinator. I needed to check it out because I was like, I don't remember him going to the Lions, but I remember owning Reggie Bush in some weird situations. I know he went to. I owned him when he was on the Saints, and he killed it. I think he might have finished his career on the Lions.
I know he went to. Maybe he did. Interesting.
He did.
I know he went to the Dolphins, and he's like, I'm going to be the I want to be the number one player, the number one running back on the team. So he went to the Dolphins. Looks like he played for the Bills a little bit. You know what? There he is. Yeah,
He was on the Lions. So yeah, so
wow.
dude, when he was on the Lions, I might have owned him when he was on the Lions because whenever I owned him, he was catching so many passes, it was crazy. So Jason, this offensive coordinator that Austin Ekeler is losing is literally perfect for Austin Ekeler. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
There's so much risk in here. I think it's great for the wide receivers and not good, and great for Justin Herbert. I'm so high on Justin Herbert and the wide receivers. And, you take and you give here, Jason. There's only so much of the pie. And now more of the pie is going towards the wide receivers and the quarterback. And now there's no pie for the running back. That's my Jerry Jones impression.
You ain't going to get no pie today, son. Ain't going to happen. Slithering. Yeah, so one thing about Austin Ekeler, too, like, this guy didn't even rush for 1,000 yards last year. Everyone was thinking, like, oh, yeah, 20 touchdowns in 2021. He's not going to be able to bounce back and get that many. Well, he got 18 touchdowns last year, right? He didn't get 1,000 yards. What are the chances that he gets around 18 touchdowns again this following year? So, I mean, statistically, historically, you're thinking this guy's stuff is going to drop, right? I mean, if he somehow gets 18, 17, 16 touchdowns again, then I don't even know. That is just a mystery. It's one of those just like crazy flukes in fantasy football. But get him that early. I think there's still other players that you would want to get before then, and because there is a potential that he's going to drop. Also, they got another wide receiver, Tyler. So it looks like they're trying to help out Herbert in the aerial assault.
Who is your wide receiver, Jason?
Davante Adams. We're moving along quite nicely. This one was oh gosh. This one was difficult. It was hard for me to do this one too, just because I'm like, it's Davante Adams. This dude's amazing. He's crazy. He's the best route runner in the game. He's second behind Cooper Kupp. But this one is not mainly pointing out Davante Adams' flaws, but the team that he's on. So Davante Adams, he plays for the Las Vegas Raiders. He goes at the 1-2 turn. Last year, he was the number 2 wide receiver overall. He had 100 receptions, 1,500 yards, and 14 touchdowns. With Derek Carr as quarterback, Adams had 34 downfield targets, 14, and out of those targets, he had 14 catches and 9 touchdowns, over 20 yards. So he did pretty good. Jimmy Garoppolo is now the QB, and he's one of the most conservative quarterbacks maybe since Alex Smith. This guy, dink and dunk. Last 4 seasons, I just gave this total that Adams had 34 downfield targets last season. Out of the last 4 seasons, Jimmy G has a total of 35 pass attempts downfield. He doesn't like to throw the ball deep. And 9 of Davante Adams' touchdowns came from deep balls last year, over 20 yards. Jimmy G doesn't like to throw those. Since 2018, only 40% of Adams' yards have come after the catch. It's not even half. So he's the type of you're not going to get a lot of yards after catch with Davante Adams, right? And if Jimmy G can't pass his do I have this? If Jimmy G can't pass his physical because of the surgery that he had on his foot, they're thinking about getting the legendary Carson Wentz is now option to put on the Las Vegas Raiders. So it's like, that's not an upgrade, like, at all.
And Jason, if Jared Stidham was there, I'd feel decent about it at least.
Yeah, but
I need to go back to that game, that big game that Jarrett Stidham had. But that was Sean Payton stealing Jarrett Stidham. You know, like he saw what was happening, took their backup, and now they're screwed. So I just wanted to mention that while you're talking about them looking for a quarterback.
Well, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, ever since the whole thing that like he's the next Tom Brady, he's undefeated, he's 6-0 in all his starts, gets a contract at San Francisco. Really, since then, like you don't really want him on your teams. This guy's been in the trade rumors for the past couple of years.
Because of injuries.
What?
Injuries because of that.
Injuries. I mean, he's getting replaced on the Niners. Like it's just crazy. This guy will get most of his yards by passing it to like Deebo Samuels on just a little screen, and Samuel's like running the ball. That is not Davante Adams' style of play, which I've read here that since 2018, only 40% of Adams' yards have come after the catch. He's not grab it, run 70 yards type of guy. And also the Raiders they picked up Jacoby Myers, who could be a solid number 2 to take some targets away from Davante Adams. And what's one thing that Jacoby Myers is great at? Those drag routes. And what does Jimmy Garoppolo love? Those short deacon dunks.
And don't forget Hunter Renfrow, Jason. He was injured a lot of last year, so
that's another one. Around this time that Davante Adams is getting drafted, you got Travis Kelce, you got Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb. Even maybe Garrett Wilson will have a less risk rating.
That's the big one, Jason. That's the big one. Would you rather have Garrett Wilson or Davante Adams? I would rather have Garrett Wilson, dude.
I definitely would. I would definitely have Garrett Wilson. I put Davante Adams risk rating of 85. Risk rating of 85 if he's drafted in the first 15 picks.
So that's your highest risk rating. The lucky bastards, highest risk rating. And guess what, dude? If Derek Carr would have stayed there, I would have put him in my top tier. Jason probably have like a 10% risk rating on him.
He wouldn't even be on this list. But it's not his fault. He's unhappy there. You could tell. Heath Hive is going to go play with his college quarterback who was only there for a year. And then they bring in Jimmy G, where like I feel like nobody really wants Jimmy G. He's not the same type of quarterback that Davante Adams wants to really do well, right? And it's just not the scheme for Davante Adams. I can't see him. The stats show he's not going to get 14 touchdowns again, and stats show he's not going to get 1,500 yards again. So, getting him in the 1-2 turn, that'd be a bust. 85% chance he's a bust if he's picked before the 15th pick.
Yeah. I mean, there's just better.
I named him what I saw. I'd rather have
Travis. I know, and it's like at that point, I think if Davante Adams is a wide receiver out there, I'd rather have Amon-Ra St. Brown, dude. And it's like that guy's going probably 5 picks or 10 picks afterwards.
He was like the very next one. And I just like, I could. I mean, like, do you want AJ Brown over Davante Adams?
Yes,
exactly. So there was more players, but I was like, I could have a list of 10 players, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of the show. For the sake of the show and the time strain.
Hey, everybody out there, say a prayer for Jason because he's taking care of you. All right. Okay, I need to do mine. I'm going to write it up there, Jason. Do you know who it is?
Yep.
I can't remember. Who is it?
It is
crap. I lost my pen. Oh, it's right here.
It
is
Corey.
He almost broke the Viking, or he almost broke. I think he tied Randy Moss, something like that, last season in his rookie year.
Are you talking about Christian Watson? Oh, this is gonna be a good one.
Hey, Christian, whatever, dude.
No, this is gonna be a good one.
No, I'm spelling it all wrong. I'm just like writing on the board. I've been drinking, so forgive my stuff. Christian Watson. Like, what's up with you, son? Where is it? So, Christian Watson, man, got all of his points. Let's see. He got 7 touchdowns in that 4-week stretch. That was the Randy Moss stretch. And, before that, he struggled with drops. He struggled with everything, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't like, it's like, dude, this guy needs to practice harder. This guy needs to do everything. So, and this is what he finished inside the top 10 wide receivers weeks 10 through 13. And I talked about this before, Jason. This is where we're getting some like inflated ADPs. He propelled some owners to the championship. And then, some of these players in their minds, when they're like, oh, dude, I made it all the way to the playoffs or championships or whatever with Christian Watson, like is my wide receiver 1 or 2. So they're thinking this could repeat or something like that. Hey, man, we're Bako boys, Jason. Jordan Love's a Bako boy.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't care about what he did in garbage time versus the Eagles and all that stuff. I'm going to rely on like everything I've heard for the last 3 years is that Jordan Love is not ready to be an NFL quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
And if anything, I do want his deep threat. You know what I'm saying, Jason? Like I want his Dobbs or his tight end.
Mhm.
And I think we'll see that come to fruition during the regular season. But right now, when our imaginations are going crazy, we're like, oh my God, dude, Christian Watson, did you see him in that? Like, no, man, like he caught a slant and took it to the house. That's great. They were playing so far off of him. I remember watching the tape and all that stuff. Like, it was super garbage time. Like, all that stuff was garbage time. So, anyways, Christian Watson, he lost Aaron Rodgers, who got him the ball for that crazy Randy Moss stretch. And then, and then now, what's his name, dude? Bako Boy came in for a little bit and showed, now we all think that Christian Watson can do that with Jordan Love. It's not going to happen, dude. Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, it's just kind of whatever.
Go out there and make a superstar.
His consistency score was 3.14, which ranks 44th among wide receivers. And that is well below his rank for points per game or total points in general, and much lower than his ADP. So, like, if you're going by ADP and you're just like, oh my God, dude, efficiency scores, he'd be drafted like in the last round as far as wide receivers go. So, like, he's a very inefficient wide receiver. He had a hot stretch. He carried some people to the playoffs. He just lost Aaron Rodgers, who's like the most accurate downfield quarterback of all time. Yeah, dude. He is going. I didn't even say this, Jason. Round 6, dude. Round 6. That's like right after George Kittle. Pick 2. So at the top of round 6, he's going between Jerry Jeudy and DJ Moore. So Jerry Jeudy broke out, and now he gets Sean Payton. And he broke out with Russell Wilson, who's still there, okay? Sean Payton, I mean, I believe in Sean Payton more than anything. And then DJ Moore, man, like, yeah, he gets a worse situation, but he's going to be hyper-targeted. They're paying him. He gets Justin Fields, and he's got a good supporting cast. Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to be – I don't think that DJ Moore is going to be better than he was in Carolina like some people do. But still, man, like if you tell me I can get DJ Moore over Christian Watson and Jerry Jeudy, yeah, like he's not even in the same realm as those guys.
Yeah, unless the fantasy experts know something that we don't with Jordan Love, he needs to fall back. He needs to fall back a little bit more. Watson, I think the most catches he had in the game last year was 6. And I think he only averaged like 2 or 3 catches a game. He did have that stretch where, he got all of his touchdowns in like a 3-4 game stretch, which was like 7 touchdowns. But I mean, this guy he's a boomer bust. He's like the biggest boomer bust that's going to be out there, Tyler. And like, are you wanting to risk that on a 6th round wide receiver?
Hell no. That is your wide receiver too, dude. No thanks. And Jason, one more huge stat. They do not have a top 10 ranked wide receiver matchup in all of 2023. So, like, that's crazy. So, like, as far as 2022 goes, the top 10 matchups for wide receivers, they have 0 of those.
So the wide receivers are not the way to go from the Green Bay Packers to win this season. And rightfully so. I mean, how much of a downgrade are you getting from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love? From what it sounds like, until we see something, what it sounds like, a whole bunch of downgrades. Big gap. It's a big gap. Seize the gap.
Seize the gap. Seize the gap. Seize it.
Seize the gap.
All right, people. This was a 50-minute show, maybe a little bit less than that. So hopefully you liked it. Hey, and if you can help us out, go to Spotify, man, and follow us there. Because literally, I don't know why. Even though I think Jason and I are both handsome, it's like, man, not seeing our face makes it so much funnier. I don't know if it's like your imagination or what.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think it's just us. Because I know facial expressions are crazy. So it's like, I would imagine the face would be funnier, but who knows? Oh, damn, Jason, don't show any, all the, hey. Hey. Anyways, and also, YouTube is trying to keep us down. So like and subscribe. If you see this, like and subscribe. Please, because we had like 7 likes on 8 views on a short today, and it literally didn't. I think it ended up with like 12 views. So
Got pushed out to 12 people somehow. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's just tough. So we're going through some hard times. I don't know if it's fantasy football. I'm pretty sure this is a dead area.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're this far, man, you're a fantasy football fan, please help us out.
Yeah.
And Jason and I both appreciate you
so much.
So much.
So much.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Deuces.